pep talk time. Welcome to Kyera in My Pocket, where personal transformation gets intimate, raw, and uncensored. So do not say that I didn't warn you. I'm Kyera Kacey, founder of Liberate Her, an international best-selling author of Rich Bitch Money Goals, Becoming the Energetic Match to Wealth. I have coached thousands of women around the world using our 9 iconic rich bitch principles to change their lives, their businesses, and their bank accounts. So get ready for unfiltered stories, TMI moments, and the exact mindset and embodiment shifts that have helped me build a multi-7-figure empire. I am here to help you on your path to personal and professional success. So tune in, turn up, and let's fucking go. I got a pocket full of Kyera. Whoa. I couldn't help myself. Let's go. Someone called me the C word the other day, and I was like, you know what? We're going to talk about this. We are talking about that because a lot of people ask me this question: how do I gain confidence? How are you so confident? Now, I don't know what C word you thought I was talking about, but I'm going in on confidence today because this is so important for you to have if you are going to create next level success, the kind of impact that really touches the heart of the people who are meant to receive your work. And I can tell you the reason that you lack confidence. Are you ready for this? I'm literally going to tell you why you don't have confidence. You don't trust yourself. You don't have confidence, or you lack confidence, or you have very little confidence because you actually don't trust yourself. So here's what I have found. Over the years, I have done things from just like a really early age that even though I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Even though I questioned things along the way, even though I was scared, uncertain, just full of doubt at times, I still did the thing. And I have countless stories that would back up and provide evidence as to how that has actually shaped my life today. And I believe that confidence is one of the reasons why I've generated multiple 7 figures in my business, because there's something to be said for the person who is selling something or offering something, or they're creating something and they know who they are to do it. They know who they are to sell it. This is why in my book, Rich Bitch Money Goals, my chapter on sales, the number one rule in sales. So this is my book, Rich Bitch Money Goals. And the chapter that I have in here, it's called ABC, always be convinced. So we know the number one rule in sales is always, always be closing. Always be closing a sale, all right? Always be making money, always be closing. But what I discovered throughout my time in entrepreneurship personally, and then what I discovered just in working with other women and hundreds of thousands of women, was that the women who were certain of their work, the women that were offering something that wasn't like they didn't sit down and go, okay, what can I do to make money? It wasn't that conversation. It was like, how do I take what I love? How do I take what I'm really good at and monetize it? How do I take this stand that I have? So let's say, for example, I don't know, let's say you're a relationship coach and you have a stand for women that they should have a 10 out of 10 relationship and nothing less. And you have so much certainty and conviction and confidence backing that because you've done it yourself. Like, you're the type of person that has actually experienced a relationship in your past that was toxic, it was unhealthy, it was lacking love, it sure as fuck was not a 10 out of 10. And then you have the courage to leave, even though you're scared, even though it's painful, even though you're like, I don't know what's on the other side of this. You just know this isn't it. Like, this is not as good as it gets for you. When you have the kind of confidence and courage to follow your intuition when it's telling you to move, when it's telling you to leave, when it's telling you that you deserve better, and you honor it, you trust it, you move in rhythm and accordance with your intuition, you build your muscle of confidence. Like, confidence is a muscle. So the good news is that if you lack confidence or you feel like you don't have any, this is something that you can strengthen, but it is going to require that you move and you trust yourself when your intuition is telling you to move. And I can tell you from experience that it's not convenient. It's not a convenient move. I had somebody that was upset with something that I had said. Like, this isn't the first time. Because there was something I said inside of one of my programs where I don't know exactly what it was, but they basically went out of their way to email my team and let them know that they were upset with me because, I basically said that creating success is hard, and I actually do believe that. I believe that everything in life has the potential to be hard. Like I said in a previous episode, being broke is hard, being wealthy is hard. So choose your hard. And, it is my belief from experience, but also just belief as to why we as human beings are here. It is my belief that we are initiated into the next level. And initiations are never easy and they're not typically pretty. And so I do think it's hard. I think that we are here as humans to learn. And I said the other day, like if we knew the answers, it wouldn't be a test. And so the things that I've done and the things that I've seen other people do to create just this unshakable, this unwavering confidence where you're like, who the fuck is this person? The audacity, right? To like love yourself this much, the audacity to trust yourself this much. Like they're unshakable because they've done something. They've sat in the fire long enough to recognize that they're actually not going to die. And when you do that, like most people, when they're in the fire of discomfort, and they don't sit with it. They get out because they're like, fuck, this is too hot. What they find is then they don't trust themselves to actually be able to sit or get through something or overcome something. Like I even look at the marathon that I ran. And the only reason I ran that marathon was because somebody told me I couldn't do it. They're like, you can't do it without training. So the most I had ever ran prior to running a marathon was a half marathon, which I think is what, 13 miles. And so a marathon is 26.2, I think. And I was like, I just believe that my mind is really fucking powerful. And if I believe that I can run this without having trained for it, I'm going to prove to myself that I can. And so there's a certain level of confidence that you just start to embody, and it doesn't leave when you've done things that most people will tell you that you can't do or it can't be done. No different than the 4-minute mile. It was impossible to the world until one person did it, and then all of a sudden it's the domino effect. And that you've seen that in coaching. You've seen that in the coaching business, right? Like there was a time where people were charging $50 for a 1 hour call. And then all of a sudden you see someone charging 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, and you're like, if they can do it, why can't I? And so so the more that you started to have people actually proving things were possible, and then you had a division between those who were up to the challenge, who felt a resonance with the desire to actually create similar results. But then on the flip side, you saw people that were like, there's no fucking way. Like I had a person, I was creating a post around this. I had a person message me. This was actually a while back. I think this was maybe my first Ireland retreat that I ran in 2022. I don't know. It was one of the first ones. And he was like, why would anyone pay like thousands of dollars to go to Ireland with you when like they could pay way less and just go by themselves? No, no, this was like the second or third. So I was like, because this is transformation, not tourism. Like I had a woman come to my Ireland retreat, and then she ended up making multiple five figures off of like a one mentorship that we had in the presidential suite overlooking the famous lakes like of Ireland. So the people that come into this world, they understand like we're not doing anything that's common. And even that takes a certain level of confidence because you are constantly seeing a division between possibility and what people would call reality. Like reality to most people there's like a limitation. There's a veil around reality that keeps people from seeing what they can actually do and create in their life. And so this is the other reason I always tell people proximity matters. If you're in proximity to people who are small minded, who are constantly in lack, living in fear, that is going to impact you. That's going to affect you. You think you're going to be a massively confident person around small energy, around small minded people? Probably not. but you get in a room with the kind of people that are doing extraordinary things, not because they have to, not because they need to, they just simply desire to experience more out of life than what meets the eye for most people, and they're willing to take risks. If I look at some of the commonalities in people who are successful, I've listened to hundreds of interviews from people who are multimillionaires and billionaires, and there's so many different there's so many things that they have in common, but I want to share one that will tie into confidence, and it will tie into trusting yourself. And what they all say is that you have to be somebody that is willing to take risks. So the person that is willing, like, I even look at myself, investing in myself in the ways that I have took a level of certainty in the risk and being okay. It's like I'm just not okay with not doing something when my intuition is telling me to do it. I'd rather do it and take the risk and feel alive and see what comes on the other side of it. I would rather say I'm in for this lesson, I'm in for this challenge, and do it. So if you're going to build your muscle of confidence, then you have to start betting on yourself. You have to start trusting yourself. When you have that intuition, that whisper from the back of the room, that nudge, that gut feeling that's just telling you to do something, and you're like, this is fucking insane, you got to move anyway. You have to move anyway. So when people are like, come up to me, or they ask me like about my trust offers, or how do people pay you thousands of dollars and they don't know what they're buying? It's like, because I know who I am to sell that. The confidence in the offer and the excitement in what somebody would be getting if they said yes, it literally excites me. I'm confident in that offer. I'm confident that somebody is a frequency match for that offer. So there's no hesitancy in my field, right? I always give the 47K trust offer as an example, because it's not, most people can't wrap their minds around that. Someone paid me $47,000 in full for an offer because they were a frequency match to it. They trusted themselves and they moved in rhythm with their intuition. And so if you're going to build your confidence, now I'm not saying you have to go out and do that. What I am saying, so like, let me be clear, because I do get people that love to twist my words, and you can't do that with me because I'm very factual. I say what I say, and you either repeat what I say or you make it mean something I didn't say. So I'm not saying that you need to go out and spend 47,000 on something you don't know what it is. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that if you're going to build confidence and you're going to create success in your life, you need to trust yourself. That would mean if your intuition is telling you to buy a $2 lottery ticket, go fucking buy it. If your intuition is telling you to go buy a $14 book, go buy it. If your intuition is telling you to skip the gym today and go to the coffee shop and you're like, I don't know why I would do this, go fucking do it. If you want to build confidence, you need to trust yourself. You need to start listening to your channel more than you are consuming regurgitated nonsense on social media. Build your confidence. You need to trust yourself. This podcast was brought to you by my international best-selling book, Rich Bitch Money Goals, Becoming the Energetic Match to Wealth, which is available at over 39,000 retailers across the nation. So make sure you pick up your copy today. You can find it in places like Amazon, Target, Indigo, Barnes & Nobles, Walmart, and more.